Hey now, hey now, hey now. We want you to get yourself together because this is going to be a long year. Yes, it's going to be a long year. And we want you to get ready with birds of a feather because we want to just look at what we're getting ready and what we've already been facing with the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And if you notice, the title is the Jalen Hurts Hate. You know, and I want to just go to another broadcast. I believe it's on ESPN. And I want you to check out what they are saying about this situation. We want to go and just check them out. Okay, let's get ready.
Could have your Hurts argument. Stafford is amazing. Let's not forget what Stafford did last year. And if they're all healthy this year,
we don't need to do this, Trades. You're already you're hosting First Take. You're hosting it, and you're already doing it. You're already starting to just pin one against the other. Okay, obviously different situations. With that being said, here's what Peyton Manning had to say about Jalen Hurts when he was talking to Chris Collinsworth. He's on the PFF Plus pod, I do believe. And what Peyton has to say about Jalen at this exact moment is very, very fascinating, especially because of the whole, there's two camps, it feels like, on Jalen, which there probably always will be. Here's Peyton's thoughts on it.
I mean, it tells you all about his mental toughness, right? Because that's the kind of situation where it's embarrassing and you just don't sort of recover from it mentally or emotionally. So it tells you how mentally tough he is. And they said, he was the first guy to high five Tua in the locker room. And
Okay, let's see. Now, what he's talking about is him being mentally tough since he was in college and he got pulled from the game in Alabama. Now, this is something that had never been done before. They weren't down by that many points, and it was halftime. And then he gets pulled in the national championship game. Never done before. Unprecedented. And then Tua, I believe it's like the fourth down, probably final play. He throws a pass, and it's caught, I believe, by Smith for a touchdown. They win, and Jalen was excited, happy with him, and it just blew their minds. People couldn't believe that, hey, he wasn't around kicking rocks mad, because that was just something that seemed very unnecessary. And why would you pull a quarterback? And it didn't seem like it was hopeless at all. It was only halftime. But Nick Saban did that. He pulled them in the national championship game. And this is Peyton Manning giving his say on that situation.
And, was as celebratory after that win as, all the players that were, involved in the game. And you're right. I mean, he's played so well in both those Super Bowls, but I like the way he goes about it. He calls me a lot. It asks me lots of questions. They actually run a lot of plays that we used to run, Sirianni to Frank Wright to Tom Moore, sort of that chain. And he calls me with very specific questions about certain plays. So he's a student of the game. As another example, you think, he squats 600 pounds. He can, run over guys. He can throw it a mile. But his appreciation of the cerebral part of the game is what's impressive to me, and how he's taking his game to the next level. And I think the sky's the limit for this guy.
I love to hear that. And obviously, I think Peyton probably enjoys the hell out of current quarterbacks calling and asking for help, because he gets to nerd out at a level that only.
Well, let's be honest. How many quarterbacks you think is calling other quarterbacks, picking their brains before and after the season? Because just to be a quarterback, many of them are so egotistical, they figure, and be honest, they know it all. So he's showing already he is a breed of one, and he thinks differently.
Only if you can really understand. I heard you today, I think, say he was the Super Bowl MVP, won a Super Bowl. He's not being disrespected or something. It's not about what he wins on the field. It's about how everybody talks about him, Shrakes. That's what we're doing in there. Do you feel that Jalen Hurts is always just going to be scrutinized, just like Sirianni seemingly always going to be scrutinized. Do you think that's just how it's going to be, and that's kind of what life is going to be like for him, even though some others might not experience the same?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him that he's surrounded by so much talent, and people look to that offensive line as the best in the league. They look at those two wide receivers as two of the best in the league, and they look at Saquon Barkley as the best running back in the league. So you take a look at this team, and he's the one who gets kind of notched below because 2,900 passing yards. He's not going to win you a fantasy championship. Yet I look at it, biggest games. Here's the guy outplaying Mahomes in 2 different Super Bowls. Here's a guy winning Super Bowl MVP, makes every big throw. He's had 6 different offensive coordinators the last 6 times he's taken the field for an NFL or college football team. So I think it's fair for both sides. I think you're allowed to say, hey, look, this overall pick, if I'm redrafting the NFL right now, and he might not be a top 5 quarterback if I'm redrafting my quarterbacks, but you can also say he has done everything you possibly could ask for and that he is the perfect quarterback.
Well, let me say this here. If you go back and you look, look at history of what we call great quarterbacks. There's a quarterback by the name of Dan Fouts, who I believe has a yellow jacket in Football Hall of Fame, Dan Fouts. There's also a guy that was on the other coast from San Diego by the name of Dan Marino, all kind of passing record. I think one of his receivers was a guy by the name of Mark Duper out of Marksville, Louisiana, and got all these records. And I believe he is a yellow jacket, a Hall of Fame because of all of the yards. Both of those men are known for being such great quarterbacks, such great passers. But you know what? Neither one of those men has a Super Bowl win. Yep, neither one of those men has a Super Bowl win. So if guys can make it to the Super Bowl and be revered as great quarterbacks, but never have won the ultimate prize, and not only the Super Bowl, but yet while in the Super Bowl, win the most valuable player award. So Jalen won the most valuable player award, then the 2 Super Bowls, and he's barely turning 27 years old. And, you know, what are we talking about?
For that city, for that team, and for that coach. And you nailed it with Sirianni. I think if you polled all 32 NFL head coaches, hey, who are the coaches you respect the most in the league, or who's the coach that you think is tops in the game? I don't think they respect Sirianni either. I don't think he's viewed as a top 10 coach, despite all the success. I think they also hold the same stuff against him, but he's perfect for Philly. He's perfect for that locker room, and he is perfect for that quarterback.
That's so fascinating to hear about Sirianni and his peers, because you would think that they would appreciate somebody who acts like himself and has great success, but he probably tells them, hey,
Yeah.
too much. Because there's a lot of that out of Sirianni.
Yeah,
you know,
I bet he loves that.
The other coach.
Well, you want to talk about coaches? Talk about the coach that won more Super Bowls than anybody. But look at his track record. Look at the years that they went and they were stealing plays, that they got caught for it, that they had what they call Deflategate. How many of those Super Bowl wins can you say were really tainted? They got penalized for it. They lost draft picks because of it. But yet we try to gloss over it as if that never happened. That reality never happened. And this is with the winningest. Do you know how much better a team would play if you knew the plays that the other guys was calling? And all you had to do was run an offense or a defense on what you knew they were going to call. Come on, man.
Coaches don't allow.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay, I'll just go beat their ass on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, but you're a doofus.
They could say that, right? I think Jeremy Fowler did quarterbacks, wide receivers. I was like, I would love to do an anonymous at the owner meetings. This guy Sirianni every year is the best amongst his peers. That may be.
Okay, let's move on because I see you titled this the Jalen hate. Why is he the number one hated? And now we're talking about other stuff. So let's try to move on and see where we can come out from here.
Like, I'm sure his peers have a high respect for that. Media, maybe not so much, because day one, remember his first, you can't ever change the first
less
impression.
thinking, more athlete take over.
But Piers even too, though, with how many like older coaches have gotten back in, he still might not be top 10. Like, some people might just, and granted, I mean,
I'd be curious.
I'm one of those people, but like Pete Carroll, you know, he hasn't been in for a while, but Pete Carroll's back in football now.
So if they see his name on a list.
Okay, we talking about Pete Carroll, we talking about other coaches and all other kinds of stuff. Yeah, this is ESPN.
No, I will never say.
Okay, good. I like that. That's part of that's good.
It's anonymous.
Yeah, but I would like my coach to abstain from doing anything anonymous. I would like the coach to say, nah.
Okay, he would like his coach to do this.
About it. I don't like that at all. You know, I don't like, now granted, I know there's safeness and like safety and wellness for whistleblowers. Okay, so
a little different.
I understand in the real world.
Yeah.
Out of the gates, ESPN shot out of a cannon draft time, and I was like, I don't have a team.
Let me get on back to what we're talking about over here and move them out the way. Why is Jalen Hurts so much hated? Well, the reason he's so hated because he can't be duplicated. Yep. And he's an easy target because he's so focused on winning, he ain't got time to be arguing with the public, trying to get a public perception, or he's trying to play winning football, which he's always stated. It's never has changed in his goal and his motives, and he's focused. And that's what you got to realize. When you're focused, you ain't got time for the foolishness. So I'm just going to say this. I'm steady going to rock with Jalen Hurts. Yeah, the hate is real. He said he had a purpose. Come on, before they even had an opinion. So what you're thinking about is not what he's about. And we're here at Birds of a Feather. We're going to rock together, and we're going to watch what Jalen Hurts is going to continue to do, because he's not through yet. Just hold on. You're going to see more and more and more. And go out and tell a neighbor, tell a friend that the Birds are back at it again. I'm Doc Hurts, signing out. Yes, signing out. We'll be rocking and rolling with Mr. Izzy. Yeah, courtside, going to be talking about. Yeah, it's a Hurts thing. Don't get it twisted. Signing off. See you later, Gator. As we say, see ya. Wouldn't want to be you.